we are going to be rating each Premier League club's transfer window. The transfer window has slammed shut after a very long time, what it seems like. And yeah, we're just going to be going through every single club's transfer, rating it from 1 to 10, how we think it's gone, how we think it's going to affect their season, all this kind of stuff. So let's just get straight into it, starting with Arsenal. So now Arsenal have had a decent window. So they brought in, I'm just literally going to say every player that they've brought in. Okay, so every new player they've brought in. So they brought in Thomas Partey on deadline day. They brought in Gabriel. They've signed Cedric Suarez on a full-time contract. Got Willian. They got Saliba back from his loan, so he's basically gonna be like a new player because he hasn't played for them yet. And those are like their big. Oh, they also got a new backup goalkeeper, of course.
And contract extension with Aubameyang as well.
Yeah, that is also very big, to be fair. And then the players who they let go of this summer, Martinez, Guendouzi. They got rid of Torreira. He went on loan, I believe. He went on.
Yeah, so did Guendouzi.
Oh, Guendouzi's on loan. Oh yeah, he's a loan. Yeah. Guendouzi's a loan. Okay, yeah. So they've got rid of a few players. They brought in some players. Their net expenditure this window is minus 60.2 million. So, how would you rate that window?
To be fair, it's decent, you know. They've upgraded all positions, especially that centre-back position and defensive areas. So that's promising for them. Like they said, they got in Willie, an experienced player, you know, adding to the quality with like Aubameyang, etc.
I think they need someone like Willian because last season Pepe wasn't really performing and he was kind of like just always in the squad anyway, innit? This season we've seen Willian starting most of the games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm like Partey, in this case, he's going to be a big improvement to that midfield. You know, just a player that can just sit there, hold, can tackle, he can do everything. So.
Who do you think Arsenal needed more, Partey or Aouar?
In my opinion, I would have got Aouar.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not saying Partey is still not a good signing for them, but personally, I would have got Aouar, mainly because he's younger and he's probably a bit more creativity.
Yeah.
But you know, they obviously have like Ceballos, who's a creative player, and I think if with Ceballos and Partey in that midfield, I feel like it will give Ceballos a bit more freedom.
Yeah, but then it all really depends on how they play because I still do think they'll go back to a back four.
Yeah, same.
But right now, the way they're playing a back three, they play with two like defensive-minded midfielders in there as well. So I don't really know if they go to a forward back. I can see how Partey, Xhaka, and like Ceballos, for example, can all start together. But in that back three, I just don't really see it working. So I think Arteta does have a back four in term long mind. I think, to be honest, they paid 45 mil for Partey. I think that, like, what? How much did Leon want for Aouar? Like 50 mil?
I think it was 45.
Well, yeah, so I think they should got Aouar personally. It did cost them Gunnosaurus, but you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
That is actually so.
But you know, in fact, like I don't think I think I know why they probably didn't sign Aouar, to be honest.
How come?
Because like Ozil's returned back to training.
Yeah, but the whole situation, I don't see him playing.
No,
like his contract runs down like 1 or 2 years. I know he's still one of the best. I know he still does have a lot of quality, but I don't think he really fits into that Arteta system anymore.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Like in the Sheffield game, like Arteta did change the formation where he was a forward at the back, 2 DMs and then a cam, and you know Willian was playing in that position.
What? Willian was playing at cam?
Yeah, he was playing cam behind Aubameyang, and Pepe was on the right, Saka was on the left.
Maybe that's because Ozil, obviously, he isn't match fit right now. I think
exactly,
he's just been chilling in Turkey. But
so,
yeah.
You never know, if he gets back to match fitness, might see him in that starting 11.
I mean, with the depth, like they will need that depth, especially playing in the Europa League, they're still in the Carabao Cup,
Exactly.
FA Cup, Premier League. So
And especially if they want to be winning, things as well, they need a player like Özil, in that team.
like his quality like would just help them out alone. So how would you rate their window out of 10? Bear in mind, we haven't really focused that much on their losses. They've lost Torreira. They've also lost Martinez. Guendouzi was looking like a really good young prospect. Of course, it's just out on loan, but they still lost him.
He's right.
Wow, it's strong. Alright, so out of 10, what would you rate their window?
Say like a 5.
5?
Well, that's good.
Out of 10?
In terms of I'm basing it on compared to all the other teams, because no one's like, in my opinion, no one's really gonna have like a 9 out of 10. So
I have to disagree with that. I would personally give them. Are we do decimals?
Well,
Can we do decimals? Or just in whole numbers?
you can do decimals.
Of course, A-level maths, so we know about the decimals. I would say.
I'll say 5.5 then.
I would say 6.5. I would give them a 7, but I think them losing Martinez, even though they can't have both Leno and Martinez in their in the side, I still think that losing Martinez, whoever they lost, it's all brought them down a little bit. So I'm personally giving them a 6.5. I still think they've had a good window, but yeah.
Yeah, they've definitely a good window.
Now on to the team that's currently second in the Premier League, Aston Villa. Like their business has really done good for them. Has really done well for them. So they've brought in Ollie Watkins. They've brought in Bertrand Traore. Remember him when he used to play for Chelsea? They brought in Martinez, Matty Cash, Ross Barkley on loan, and then they've gotten rid of. Do we even know any of these players? Okay, so they got rid of Danny Drinkwater, doesn't play for them. Pepe Reina doesn't play for them anymore. I'm just going through the list, and none of these players are really like significant players in my opinion. And they haven't lost anyone from like their main who like really featured them their starting 11 last season. So realistically, and their net transfer spend this summer has been 74.12 million. So it is a lot. But Premier League money, like getting that money from staying in the Premier League is quite a lot.
Exactly.
So how would you rate that summer?
I'm actually gonna say a solid 7.5.
That's high. That is high.
Nah, but to be honest, look where it's got them.
Yeah, they started the Premier League strong, second place already.
Exactly. And
they're taking points from all their games.
Yeah, they've won all 3 games, 3 wins.
Yeah, that's impressive.
7-2 win as well.
We'll talk about that a bit later. But I think the signing of Ollie Watkins, I think, especially the way he was in the Championship last season, every Premier League team would have at least looked at him. I feel like he was always going to go to a team that's like mid-table or below. And the fact that Villa got him, that's a really good signing. Martinez, I think that's also a great signing.
Cash.
Matty Cash as well. He literally just makes that he makes him look really good. And also Nottingham Forest, Matty Cash was one of their best players last season, and they got to the playoffs. No, they finished just outside the playoffs. This season they've lost 4 out of 4 games inside the season. So it really shows how influential Matty Cash is. Also getting in Ross Barkley alone. I know you don't really rate Ross Barkley, but his performance against Liverpool, he had a good game and he's gonna be getting a lot of game time.
Game, but he missed bare chances, dude.
I know, I know, but still. And it looks like he has that chemistry with Grealish as well.
Which is good to see.
Yeah, of course Watkins as well, getting a hat trick, his first Premier League goal, his first 3 Premier League goals. I would rate it at 7.5 as well, because I think the fact they haven't firstly they didn't lose Grealish, that was a big plus. They've upgraded their goalkeeper, upgraded their right back. They have this centre back, the striker. Grealish is still firing. They've upgraded their midfield. They've got depth with Chero. I just think that they've signed in really good positions. And although they're obviously not gonna win the title, they're not gonna be able to sustain this form. But I do think this will be a good season for them. I feel like they're going to be safe from relegation, and I just think they've signed really, really, really well. Especially like Matty Cash, you know. If you look at the Asia signings, Watkins 24, Cash 23. Like these are two players who can be there for a while. Like they'll probably move on, but they're still younger players, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of course, now we'll move on to the next team, which is Brighton. So they brought in. I'm just gonna say that the players who like are known players. So Veltman, they brought in Lallana. They've brought in. I'm literally just going through, looking at all these players. Oh gosh. Who's what they brought in? Ben White. He came back from loan, of course. And yeah, that's basically the players who they brought in. Players who they players.
Alzate, the young guy.
Oh yeah, the central midfielder. Of course. How am I forgetting him? I'm literally looking at this and like saying names I can see, so I'm just like skimming through. It's really not the best way to do it, but oh well. The players who they got rid of, they lost Knockhart, they lost Aaron Moy, Shane Duffy's gone out on loan. Glenn Murray has also gone out on loan. Yeah, those are really like the bigger players who have gone. But the total spend has been minus 2.64 million. In my opinion, I feel like Brighton, they got Lallana, then the rest of the signings have been kind of quiet. Obviously, Alzate has started quite well, and Ben White is also looking like he's one for the future. But I still feel like it's been a fairly quiet window. Like they haven't really done anything that's mad special.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd say like a 4.5.
Well, are you sure Alzate signed this summer?
I'm pretty sure he did. He was not at the team last season.
Let me check. Most reliable source, Wikipedia. No, he didn't sign this season. He's been there since 2017. He was just on loan the past few seasons.
Oh, so they got him back.
Yeah. But yeah, I would honestly rate it like a 5. Like it's just average. Like didn't really lose any major players. Knockhart wasn't there last season, so it's not really gonna affect them. They signed these like Lallana's gonna be good for depth and like experience. Ben White's gonna be good. Yeah, I just feel like it's just been a meh window, to be honest. So I'd rate it a 5.
Nah, I say 4.5.
Lower than that. Actually, I agree. I'd rate it 4.5 as well. It's very, very lackluster. Now, a team that's probably going to be even lower than that is Burnley. So, they have signed. I'm going to name every player that they've signed, and I just want you to tell me how many of them you know, okay? So, they've signed Del Stevens. They signed Will Norris. They've signed Anthony Gomez Mancini. They signed Ben Gibson. They've signed Jimmy Dunn and Aidan O'Neill. Big names there. And then and then they have signed then they let go of Jeff Hendrick, Joe Hart, Aaron Lennon. Hold on, wait, did they get Aidan O'Neill or has he gone out on loan? Oh no, Aidan, I think he came back from loan. Ben Gibson, he has gone out. Oh my gosh, I'm with you. I'm trying rubbish. I'm looking at transfer mark and that is a bit confusing. But I think Ben Gibson has gone out on loan to Norwich. He's either come in from their loan or out on loan, and then they've let go of some goalkeeper who's just been released from his contract. Really, the big names in that are people who are leaving the club. Jeff Hendrick left. Okay, Joe Hart left. Although he didn't play, still, we know his name. Aaron Lennon, he's left as well. And then they haven't really brought in, like, a wow player, if you know what I mean.
I've never heard of any of them.
Exactly. Like, I know they have that guy. They have that Dwight McNeil guy who is good for them.
He relies on him too much.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like
he's overrated. He overrates him. He's not that good. Like
I know that Burnley do
I think
play.
what he's trying to do, he's trying to kind of give him like a Grealish type role, like how Grealish has a role in attacking like Villa.
Yeah, but the thing is, in that Burnley team, there isn't really anyone else who's like a top quality attacker. In Villa, they now have Watkins, and now maybe elite's a bit too high or whatever, but like a good quality. They got Watkins, they got Barkley now, they have McGinn in the midfield. They have Trezeguet, he's these, and they have like these other players. But like, when you look at Burnley, like you just like literally every time I predict a Burnley game, I predict them to score 0 goals. Cause I feel like they just gotta try and play like Brexit football, sit back and like just not try and score any goals. And they haven't really like changed that in this window, so I'm gonna give them like a 2.
Oh, I was gonna give them a 3, but yeah, 2.
No, man.
We'll leave it at 2.
I just think that they haven't really done anything, and let's be real, they probably will stay in the Premier League because that's just like what they've done. But yeah, I'm rating them quite low. Okay, I get this now. I get what they mean. I'm looking at the Chelsea one because obviously I know like more about the Chelsea transfer activity. Okay, so Ben Gibson has gone out on loan to Norwich. That's what happened there. But we'll move on to Chelsea. Probably I'm just gonna say now. I'm gonna rate them at the top because like they just have had the best window in the Premier League.
One of.
So, they signed Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Ben Chilwell, Hakim Ziyech, Edward Mendy, Manning Sarr, who has obviously gone out on loan, Thiago Silva. Who else have they signed? Looking at the list. That's it for the people they signed. Yeah, that's it for the people they've signed. People who they've let go of. It's quite a long list here. So, Morata, his move was made permanent. Some guy called Pasalic. Pasalic never played for Chelsea. I only know him because of career mode. Nathan Bakayoko, he's gone out on loan. Willian left. Pedro left. Lewis Baker. Let me just say people who know. Zaba Costa. Sarr went out on loan, like I said. Loftus-Cheek gone out on loan. Ross Barkley gone out on loan. Batshuayi loan. Ampadu loan. Van Hinkel. Why did we still have this guy at our club? He never plays. Anyway, gone out on loan. And
I see him on every single fever. I'm like,
exactly.
This guy has been here for this long.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I use him, but I think his week was kind of bad last year. Something about him wasn't really that good, so I sold him straight away. But that's irrelevant. So our next spend this summer has been minus 140 million .80 pounds. I said that really badly, but yeah. I think personally, I was a bit scared coming towards the end of the window because I really thought that we weren't going to address our main issues, which were of course goalkeeper and left back. But we did know we've signed Mendy. He's looked good so far. Of course, against Tottenham he looked good. Against Crystal Palace he didn't really face much of a threat. But I think Ben Chilwell, he's looked good in both games. He of course against Palace getting a goal and an assist. And actually looked like he can defend. Timo Werner and Havertz, they've had glimpses. I feel like they're still yet to like fully adapt to the league. Of course, yeah, she's got injured straight away. Thiago Silva made that mistake initially, but he looks good against Palace. He looks solid. I think we've addressed the areas where we need to address, and we've also upgraded in the other areas. And we got these, like for example, Timo Werner. He was like, Bayern Munich were in for him, Liverpool were in for him, and Chelsea were able to get him. Kai Havertz. Basically, every team in Europe was linked to him, and who got him? Chelsea. Like, you know what I mean? Manning Sarr, he is a good youngster who a lot of people have been like talking about. Who got him? Chelsea. Of course, he's gone out on loan to Porto, but he's still now one of our players. So I'll personally rate this window like a 9.
I'm gonna say an 8.
Oh.
Should I go for I'd say 8.5.
How come? What could have made it better?
I feel like what could have gone better was like, we've got like Mendy and stuff, but like, there's a few goalkeepers that were linked to throughout the whole window. We could have got them. The left back situation, how like we could have got like Regulio and Taliafico, Tellez.
But Chilwell's good though, and he's younger.
Yeah, okay, like, but like I would have preferred like one of them. Like, I'm not trying to say like Chilwell's not a good player and Mendy's not a good player, but like based on who we could have signed, it's a little bit disappointing. But you know, our issues have been tackled. You know, it was mainly seen against Palace, like the way our back four defended was solid.
Mm-hmm.
Gave Mendy nothing to do. You know, he might have had to make 1 or 2 saves, but that's it. And like, without a doubt, like when we get Ziyech back in, Pulisic back in the team, you know, Havertz and Werner,
When they fully
start shining.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna start shining. Like Ziyech's creativity, Pulisic's creativity, Havertz's link-up play, Werner's running, hard work, determination, everything. Like it's all gonna come together. Just get this. It's time.
Yeah.
We need time.
The reason why I rate it so highly, to be honest, I'm actually like holding back by saying a 9. I think that there are some players who we wanted to like get rid of who we weren't able to get rid of. That's why I bring it down a little bit there. I also think that there are some players who we got rid of who we shouldn't have got rid of. For example, Ross Barkley. Like we're fighting on a lot of fronts right now. I do think having that little bit extra depth would have helped us. You know, get rid of someone like Ampadu. He is only 19, but I don't know, man. I don't know. And yeah, like you said, goalkeeper situation. We could have got a better goalkeeper. Thiago Silva, he was a free signing, so that's why like it looks so good. But you know, that is a very like short term transfer.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I still think overall, just because we have fixed every position which we need to fix, and we've also upgraded in other positions, yeah, I think that's a pretty good window for us.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So now moving on to Crystal Palace. So they brought in Eze, they've brought in Nathan Ferguson, they brought in Batshuayi on loan. They've also brought some guys up from the under 23s. And yeah, they've got rid.
That doesn't count. Under 23s don't.
Okay, yeah, fair. Doesn't count. And yeah, they've got rid of some people. They got rid of Soloth, and they got rid of Jack, who I'm pretty sure none of us know who he is. He's just gone out on loan. He's just gone out on loan though, and they have made a £1.98 million profit. So, realistically, the only player who they really paid for was Eze, young 22-year-old from QPR. He got like 14 goals last season. Yeah, how do you rate their window?
A bit of a meh.
Yeah.
It's nothing special, but it's not terrible. Like, my lad, it kind of is terrible.
I don't really think it's that true. I think there's other places where they could upgrade. I think, you know, maybe get another centre back. I think, actually, to be fair, Mitchell's looked alright at left back. He's looked alright.
They still got Van Aanholt as well.
Yeah.
You know.
They've got Batshuayi who's help out in the striker position.
They have depth in their midfield.
But I still feel like is a transfer window that kind of says, yeah, we're just gonna aim for mid-table, not really going higher than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it shows a lack of ambition.
So I'd say a 4.
I'll give it a 5. I still think Eze, although most of the signings are very like just yoga Stibuya, I think Eze is a sign that shows like we can either progress with him in the future, or we think he's gonna be good and we can sign him on for a profit in the future. Because I think he will be good. Obviously, he comes on that Nike headband every game. Like if you wear a Nike headband, then you're dangerous. So yeah, I just think that
it could be a long-term solution for Zaha if Zaha does end up leaving. You know,
they're not really the same type of player though. They don't really play the same type of positions. I mean, they kind of do. They can both play on the wing.
They could both play in the middle, like as a centre forward.
Yeah, I kind of get that. But yeah, I think
like, he's still young.
That was a decent signing. Yeah, but it is still a very just near transfer window. So I'm giving it a 5.
I say a 4.
Now on to Everton, another team that's arguably had one of the best windows in the Premier League. So they've got in Ben Godfrey. He came in on transfer deadline day from Norwich. They got in Alan Doucouré and Kunku. I can't say. I can never say his name. James Rodriguez, and then they've got Olsen in on loan. Now the players which they have gotten rid of, they got rid of Morgan Schneiderlin. Why can I not speak whenever I say people's names?
Schneiderlin.
That's it.
Schneiderlin.
Every time I'm on the podcast, I can't say a name, but like if I say it outside the podcast, I can say the name like just fine. They got rid of Sandro. They let Moise Kean go out on loan. Still Walcott went out on loan to Southampton. Bill like just transfer. Nathan Baines has retired, and they let Sidibe go out on loan. So, where would you come back from loan? I'm telling you, man, this one football thing's going. Not one football. This transfer market thing's confusing. He's gone out on loan.
I'm pretty sure he's gone out on loan. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have lost £63.4 million. Now,
It's a minor. I feel like they have a solid 8.
yeah, I think this is a really good window. Like, if you look at it,
Actually, I'm gonna put it on the same level as Chelsea.
What?
No, I will, because look what they are. They've won 4 out of 4.
Okay, but.
Nah, I just think.
This might be a bit of bias coming through, because obviously, you know,
Yeah.
I am a Chelsea fan. I think goalkeeper last season, it was quite clear that needed a new goalkeeper, and all they've really done is get in Olsen on loan.
That's mine.
And
Yeah,
also,
Pickford,
I think another centre back to challenge Mina and Keane, because they can be suspects quite a lot of time. Although Alan has made them look better, they are still suspects. So I think another centre back. Oh wait, no, they got Ben Godfrey. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? This is actually
I'd say a solid. I'd say 8.5 still.
This is actually a decent window, and like what they spent 20 basically 25 mil on Godfrey. I'm just gonna round up 23 mil on Alan, 20 mil on Ducore, James on the free. They got quality players for quite cheap prices. But
yeah, exactly. 8.5.
I know there's gonna be games this season where Pickford does cost them. Like there is a reason why. Like Sky Sports is a poll. Like who should be England's number 1. Henderson was first, Pope was second, Pickford was last. There's a reason why like people don't want Pickford to be England's number 1, and there's a reason why like you see the mistakes he makes.
Got
like,
bar fingers.
exactly.
Especially in the Carabao Cup. Oh
my days! Like that was shocking. So although like these are really good players, and you know Ancelotti is also a good manager, so he's gonna get the most out of these players. I'm giving it an 8. That is still really high.
I feel like Pickford will be the reason why Everton don't get top 4 side or top 6 or something.
And I don't. Olsen, he's decent, but I just don't like. They could have gone for someone else, like someone a bit better. So yeah, an 8. That is still a good window. But yeah, next on to Fulham. Now Fulham have signed. Now Fulham, you know, they've done a bit different from the last time they were in the Premier League. Last time they signed like 100 million worth of players and just went straight back down. So they've got in Knockhart, they've got in Harrison Reed, they've got in Tete, they got Ola Aina, you know, that former Chelsea player. They brought him on Ola Aina, former Chelsea player. You don't know?
Nigerian.
Yeah, Nigerian. He was at Torino.
Oh yeah. Oh, him. Yeah.
They've got Mario Lemina in. I think that's a pretty good transfer. So my recording starts. I don't know when it stops. So we'll just say some players. So Loftus-Cheek, Areola, players like that. Players who they've gotten rid of. They've gotten rid of. I'm just looking here. See, there's a big name here. Steven Sessegnon. Yeah, no one here is really a big name to be honest, but they have still made a loss of £29.57 million. So how are you rating their window?
It's okay, but I'm immediately going to break it down because I've only seen one of those players feature, and that's Areola.
Yeah. I mean, maybe some of them aren't match fit. Like that could be the reason. Maybe some of them aren't in Scott. Like maybe that haven't adapted to Scott Parker's system. I also think that none of these players are good enough to keep them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like a 4.5.
Yeah, I'm saying like a 4.5 as well because I think that realistically, if you're a team like Fulham, you need to sign players who are going to keep you up, and none of these players are going to help them really
Definitely
stay up
no
like
Lookman.
that. It's definitely not who.
Lookman.
He's good. He's decent, but I just don't think he can do it on by himself.
I've seen him play for Leipzig.
The defense is trash though. But yeah, moving on to Leeds United, who have looked good this season, of course, getting that draw against Manchester City. They have brought in Rodrigo, Diego Llorente, Rafinha, deadline day signing. They've brought in Helder Costa. They brought in, I don't want to say this guy's name, Koch. They've brought in their goalkeeper. I can't say their goalkeeper's name, but yeah, they brought him in. Jack Harrison, he has come back on loan. And then the players who they have gotten rid of are the goalkeeper was on loan there last season. He just made the transfer permanent. So they've lost Ben White, and yeah, that's basically it. But they have spent 96.1 million. That's how much they've lost this summer. Rate it.
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah. It's quality players.
Wow.
Rodrigo, Helder Costa, Rafinha. You know.
I'll bring it down to a 7.
But should I tell you why the reason why I say 7.5?
Why?
Because like those signings have got them a 4-3. I know they lost to Liverpool, but 4-3. They look competitive. 1-1 City. Probably should have won. They look competitive. They look like a hard team. They're not easy team to beat.
Yeah.
Very hard team to beat. So yeah, that's why I give them a 7.5.
The reason why I bring them down to a 7 is because I think for them it's a good window. But I think that Rodrigo, it's no guarantee he's going to do that well. I mean, he didn't score that many goals last season in La Liga. So there's not really guarantee that he'll do well. But I think making Helder Costa permanent. I think being able to get Harrison in for another year on loan. That goalkeeper, he has started very well. Yeah, Rafinha, a bit of an unknown quantity. I've never watched him play, so I can't really comment on him.
When you see him play, you're gonna get gassed.
But yeah, I would rate it a 7. So next team is Leicester. So they have brought in Fofa, Castagna, Under. I can't say his name. I feel like there's a way to say his name. Okay, I said it right. They brought in Andy King. No, sorry, he's come back from a loan. There's other players who they have brought in, and they've let go of Chilwell. They've let go of Diabate. Anyone else who they've let go of? Andre Silva, but who cares about him? They've let go of can't say his name. Ghazi. You know that guy? Yeah, wait, Al Ghazi? That's not older. Anyway, yeah, you'll see a picture of him. This guy.
Oh, Gazelle.
Yeah, that's. I'm really bad. I just can't. You know the problem is I can't read. I'm not good at reading. And they have made a loss of 9.2 million. I think that I'll rate this one a 6 because Castagna, thank you. He's come in and he's looked good like right off the bat. And I think that they're already a good team. They haven't necessarily strengthened, but then they've also lost one of their big players and they still look alright. Like, let's still good at that. Like, they lost Maguire last season, they still look good last season. Yeah. They've lost Chilwell this season, they still look good so far. My only worry is Vardy's getting a year older. Yeah, cool, he still hasn't like slowed down. He's still a year older and you haven't gotten anyone to like replace him. If they think that's what I'm gonna say. If they think that he can be a long-term replacement, then fine. But I don't know if he will be like. He hasn't really had that much first team football, but I think overall it's a decent window. I'll rate it a 6. Like I said, yeah, I think it's just decent.
Yeah, I'd say 6 is decent.
Okay, so next team Liverpool. They have got in Diogo Jota. They've got in Thiago. They've got in Simicas. They've got. They've
Simicas.
yeah. Oh, I said it right. Let's go. Yeah. Then the players who they have let go of. They have let go of Ryan Brewster on a permanent deal. They've let go of Dejan Lovren. Salah must be devastated. They've let go of Adam Lallana. They've let. Why do they still have carriers on their books? Yeah, and Nathaniel Klein. Nathaniel Klein has left without a club to go to, and they have lost £34.02 million in this window. Now, when we're doing our Premier League predictions, we both said, well, you said Liverpool will be third, I said Liverpool will be second, and I said because they don't have the depth and their players aren't going to be up for it because they're going to be tired, blah blah blah. They've signed depth in their attack, which they needed. They signed depth in their midfield. In fact, they've probably signed a starter in their midfield, which they've needed. They've got depth at left back now. I think this is I'm giving this a 6.5. Actually, no, they got Thiago and Thiago. Oh, I don't know because Thiago is an amazing player.
I give 6.5.
I know because it's a tough one because they have signed really well. I think like they've got the depth they need. They've got someone who's obviously going to break into the starting 11. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 6. I'm gonna go with 6.5 as well. Yeah, 6.5. I think that's fair. Not really much to say about them. Just they've done what they've had to do. Now Manchester City. Of course, Man City all spend a lot of money. Can we just deep that Chelsea spent like how much did Chelsea spend? Let me get the exact amount. Let me not say any lies. Chelsea spent. Oh, Chelsea spent way more. Never mind. I was going to say the most waffle I've ever said in my life. Man City, they have brought in Ruben Diaz. They brought in Nathan Ake, Fernan Torres. They brought in Pablo Moreno, some striker from Juventus. Yeah, those are really their only big name signings there. Yeah. Then they've let go of Leroy Sané. They only got 40 mil from him as well. Let go of Leroy Sané. Otamendi's gone. David Silva, of course, he's left as well. Bravo's gone. Yeah, those are really the. Oh, Pablo Moreno just went straight on loan. Never mind. Yeah. That's really it. And they've made a loss of 91.49 million. To be honest, I'm going to be real. I don't think this is this good of a window. Because they've spent a lot of money. They've spent a lot of money on the centre back who is not guaranteed to be good. They've done that twice. And they've brought in a young winger who is not going to be an instant replacement for Sane.
I'm just gonna put it straight.
Huh?
I was gonna say I just put it straight. This is 6. It's okay.
I'm putting it low. I'm putting it to 5.5 because I feel like obviously right now they're in a bit of a striker crisis. It is unlucky that both their strikers got injured. But I just feel like they should have upgraded the left back, and they also should have upgraded the centre back in a better way. Of course, Ruben Diaz could come in and be amazing, like just completely prove me wrong. But I feel like they could have done better.
And the reason why I say 6 is because like time and time again, they spend money on their defence, and then the season later they just replace it. And I feel like the same thing's gonna happen again this next season. They're probably gonna sign I just think it's a 6. It's nothing special. Like
I also feel like they have a lot of players who they shouldn't have and they still have them. For example, Like John Stones, does he even serve a place in that club anymore?
No.
Like they could have got a bit of money for him. Like now,
Exactly.
onto one of potentially the worst transfer
I know who you're gonna say.
markets in the whole Premier League this season. Manchester United. They have brought in Donny van der Beek. They have brought in Diallo, who isn't going to come in yet. They have brought in Alex Tellers. They have brought in Pelistri. I'm not going to try to say his name. They brought in Cavani. Pardon me. Excuse me. Then they have let go of Chris Smalling. They've let go of Alexis Sanchez. They've let Chong go out on loan. They've let Pereira go out on loan, and they've let Dalot go out on loan. They have spent a net minus 61.65 million pounds. How bad is this transfer window? Panic buy after panic buy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's actually a joke because they've signed right. So they signed Cavani in Martial, and they have a Garland. Signed Van der Beek. They have Pogba and Bruno Fernandes and Lingard. They signed Telles. They have.
Don't even say Luke Shaw. He's trash.
But I'm still gonna say Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams. Positions that are
Both
heavily
trash.
occupied. Okay, but they're occupied. Okay, yeah, it is an upgrade, but I mean like. It's positions that they weren't their main priority. Their main priority is probably a centre back, a defensive midfielder, a right winger. You know.
And oh my gosh, they spent how long trying to get Sancho? And I saw some quote. I think the Athletic reported that Sancho felt undervalued and like disrespected by Man United. So United fans are saying, "Oh, we get him next summer." Firstly, Real Madrid versus Man United. PSG against Man United, Bayern Munich against Man United, Barcelona against Man United, Juventus against Man United. Every single one of these
Liverpool
clubs,
against Man United.
even Chelsea against Man United. All these clubs are a better place to go to than Manchester United. And after you have basically just disrespected him, saying like, we don't really want to pay for you. Like, so you kind of made it clear that you wanted him, but then you also didn't really want to pay for him. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I can't lie, that's a joke.
And then Cavani just absolutely reeks of Falcao 2.0. And it's just a panic buy. Tellez is an upgrade, so I'm not really gonna say anything bad about Tellez. Van der Beek, he's also gonna add squad depth which is needed. I'm not gonna lie, it is needed. But I feel like there's also been times where you could have played him and you haven't played him. So I don't really know how he's going to fit into that United team. To be honest, I would give this window a 4. Actually, no, 3.5. I'm sorry, you need a new centre-back. Your centre-backs are absolutely stinky. You need a new CDM, haven't got one. And your one chance to sign one of the best young players in the world, potentially the best player in the world next to Sancho, just below Mbappe. You had your one chance to sign him and you just completely fumbled the bag. I think this has been a terrible window for you.
I'll say 4.5.
No,
Only
man.
because in some of the players that they've signed, like Tellez is world class and Van der Beek is a solid player, a world class player.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll bring up to a 4, but I just think I wouldn't put this as a 4.5 just because like Chris Smalling, like that's someone who they could have kept and let him go. And Cavani just 33 years old. Cavani like
on a free, but you know.
Yeah, but they start to pay like what 10 mil for agent fees and sign-on fees or whatever. I don't know, but
it's just, like they just haven't tackled what they needed to tackle.
Yeah, and our next team is Newcastle United. They have brought in Callum Wilson. They brought in Jamal Lewis. They have brought in Jeff Hendricks. They have brought in Ryan Fraser. And they have let go of anyone here who we actually care about. Jack Colback, remember him? I remember I had one of his match attacks like back in 2010, 2011. Yeah.
Oh, I remember him.
Oh god, that is a throwback. I'm not gonna lie, when I'm older, I'm thinking I'm gonna collect match attacks. I'm not gonna lie, that might be kind of sad, but I probably will. Yeah. So they've brought in those players, and they spent a net of minus 34.63 million. I think this is a decent win. I mean, Callum Wilson, he looks decent. Jamal Lewis looks like a decent. Looks like he's going to be decent there as well. Definitely an upgrade on Danny Rose. Did your AirPods run out?
Yep.
I was wondering about it. The audio changed a little bit. Jeff Hendricks, of course, getting him on a free. Like, why just saying no to that? Just an upgrade, more depth. And Ryan Fraser as well on a free. It's not. It's definitely not gonna like set the world alight. But I still think this is probably like a decent. I'll give it a 6 as well. To be fair, I think a 6 is fair because they haven't really lost anyone, and they've just done little decent upgrades to their squad. So yeah. So now on to Sheffield United. Rhian Brewster. They brought in Rhian Brewster, Aaron Ramsdale, Oliver Burke, Max Lowe, Jaden Bogley. I probably butchered that name. Ethan Ampadu has come in on loan, and then they have let go of Rabel Morrison. They had Rabel Morrison. Oh gosh. Remember, he was like he was pictured next to, I think it was Pogba, Lingard in like, you know, the when he won like the FA Cup, Youth Cup. He's basically a player that had a lot of potential. I think because like his attitude and his behaviour, he kind of like wasn't really taken by any club, and he kind of just went downhill from there. They of course lost their goalkeeper Dean Henderson, and yeah, they've spent a net of minus 56.43 million. How would you rate it? I think again this is like just a mere window. They haven't started the season that well, but they still brought in some decent young players. I think Brewster will come good. I think Ramsdale will probably also come good. I think Oliver Burke will also come good as well. I'll give this like a 5.5 as well. You put give it a 5. I'll give it a 5.5. Yeah. Now there's nothing really to talk about these ones. Like, it's just like mere windows.
Yeah.
Alright, so Southampton have brought in Diarra, they brought in Kyle Walker-Peters and made that move permanent. They brought in Salisu, Theo Walcott on loan. Yeah, that's it. And then they have let go of Højbjerg. That's quite big. Let go of Harrison Reed. They let Lerma go out on loan. They've lost Cedric Suarez. Again, that. And spent a net minus 12.6. Again, a bit of like a nothing window. I think Walcott, I'm not gonna lie, I think Walcott's a bit of like just a like nostalgia move. It is only on loan, but I still think is a bit useless.
Yeah, they've lost
you're not really
two
gonna add that
quality
much.
players.
And yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing.
And Højbjerg.
Cedric Suarez and Højbjerg, yeah. I think that
I have to say a 4.5 because of the losses.
Yeah, I agree. Because they've lost more than they've gained. Walker isn't really going to really add that much. Walker-Peters will probably be decent, but he'll take a while to fully come to the fore. And Lerma as well. He's a decent player. They've let go of him.
Yeah, exactly.
On loan. Yeah. Alright, so now on to Tottenham, who have had a pretty decent window. So Lo Celso, of course, he was on there. He was at loan there last season, but this year the loan's been made permanent. I think it was an obligation to buy anyway, so like they had no choice whether or not. They signed Reguilon, Matt Doherty, Højbjerg. They signed Vinicius Jr., which is what I thought when I first heard about this transfer. It's only on loan. They've got Joe Hart, and they have also signed the big man himself, Gareth Bale, Mr. Golfman himself. And then they've let go of Kyle Walker-Peters, let go of Jan Vertonghen. Oliver Skipper's gone out on loan. Juan Fruith has gone out on loan. Sessegnon has gone out on loan. Bourne has left. He has no club to go to. And yeah, they've spent a net of minus 76.59. I think this one's a bit more of an interesting conversation because obviously Lo Celso made permanent. That's obviously going to be good. Reguilon upgrading their left back, and he has looked Like he just looks like he's going to be good for them. Matt Doherty as well, give them more depth at right back. Probably an upgrade on Aurier, if he can get used to playing right back instead of right wing back. Højbjerg has gone straight in and starting that midfield. Gareth Bale, of course, yet to come back. I think we'll probably go see him after the international break. But he's probably like with that the way that Son and Kane have started the season. If you add Gareth Bale to that attack, it's looking like this could actually have been a really good window.
Yeah,
because they haven't lost that much. Like Vertonghen, that's quite a big loss, but you know he didn't sign a new contract. Walker Peters, potential player, but you know they have enough depth at right back.
Yeah,
and they've just signed and added depth and added actual good quality depth. Vinicius, of course, I have no idea about anything about him. And he's just, and you know they needed a backup striker, so. Honestly, I'll give this one a 7.5. Actually, no, an 8. I'll give it an 8.
I was gonna give it 8.5.
A level with Chelsea.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I would.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would. On top of what they have,
I think they had a decent window. Yeah, look, to be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing Bale, Kane, and Son. Because the way that Son and Kane, I say again, 6-1 against United, against, who was it that they won 5-1 against?
5-2 Southampton.
5-2, yeah, so 5-2 against Southampton, like, four assists and a goal for Kane and 4 goals for Son, like, and like, all Son's goals assisted by Kane, like, it's just looking like it's going to be really good for them. So yeah, I give them an 8. You give them an 8.5. West Brom, they have brought in Diengana. They have brought in Mateus Pereira. They have brought in Cedric Kipre. They brought in David Button and Ivanovic. They also brought in Callum Robertson, the guy who decided to score a few goals against Chelsea. And they also got in Conor Gallagher on loan from Chelsea. Now they let Oliver Burke go. They let Aleko go out on loan. They've lost Nathan Ferguson. Realistically, it's not a bad window.
Yeah, I'd say it's decent. I'd say 5.5.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I'll give it a 5.5 because they've been able to keep Pereira.
Yeah.
They've been able to get in Diengana from West Ham. Now West Ham really did have a mare with this whole Diengana situation. But yeah, it's the same thing. Like none of these people are going to keep them in the league.
Yeah, that's the only thing. So yeah,
but
that's 5.5.
Yeah, and then we have 2 more teams left. West Ham, who have somehow become like good recently, I don't know. They made the signing of Souček permanent. They've got in Vladimir Kufal. I don't know, no idea who that guy is. That's literally it. That's literally the only people who they have brought in.
It's a 2. That's a 1.
2 players.
That's a 1 because should I say why it's a 1? Because they had Souček.
Let me say the players who they've left. Oh yeah, they've brought in 1 player. Alright, so let me say the players who have left first, okay? They've lost Diengana. They've lost Ajeti. They have lost Felipe Anderson on loan. And Jack Wilshere has been released of our club. Carlos Sanchez has been released. He has no club. And Zabaleta has been released. He has no club. And they've made a profit. They've made a profit of 540k. This has been a absolute shambolic.
0.5.
Yeah, I'm giving them a 1. Like
I'll give them to
lose a player like Diengana, to lose someone like Felipe Anderson, who's only on loan but still, and then to just sign Kufal, like what? Like it shows such lack of ambition.
David Moyes.
And
that's worse than Man United.
Well, David Moore should just stay on Zoom, man, because that's like the only way he can like do something. Honestly, it's just a poor window, West Ham. Poor. Now to the last team, Wolves. Now Wolves have brought in. I'm just gonna count here. They brought in 1, 2, 3 Portuguese players out of 1, 2. They brought in, so half the players they brought in are Portuguese. Yeah. So they brought in Fabio Silva. They've brought in Nelson Semedo. They brought in Hoover from Liverpool. Marcel. They brought in Vitina on loan, and brought some other guy on loan. I can't be sure to say his name. Then they've lost Diego Jota. They've lost Helder Costa. He was on loan there last season, but yeah. Matt Doherty has also gone, and yeah, they've lost some guy on loan, Vinagre. Yeah, and they have made a net loss of 1.4 million. I don't know what to rate this winner because they replaced. They replaced Doherty.
Yeah.
They lost Jota, but then they brought in a young player who like in Fabio Silva.
Yeah, he's a baller.
Yeah, I'll say 5.5 as well. Like it's not exactly bad, but at the same time, like, you know, it's not really gonna like set the world, like I said. And they already have like a decent team there already. So yeah, I agree with you. 5.5. So what? So that means now you think that the two teams that have the best windows were Chelsea and Spurs. I think it's just Chelsea, and we agree that teams had the worst window.
I said Chelsea, Spurs, and Everton.
Oh yeah, you put all three on 8.5. Yeah. And then we both agree that West Ham just had a shocker. That's a terrible window. Terrible. Okay, guys, so that is the end of this section. Quite long. I think we've been going on for nearly an hour with just this one section. So yeah, let us know down in the comments below what you think about the transfer window. Let us know how you feel about your club doing. And yeah.